Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's that time when we pack your bags and get ready to go. So it is time for the travel updates. And with that, we'd like to welcome to the show Tanvi Goel. Tanvi, welcome to the show with your 36th episode.
Thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you, everyone. That's really being amazing journey. As I always say, you must be thinking she's using the same line because I love saying that it's really great journey with you all. So today, again, we got lots of exciting and nice updates for you, for Australia, for international travel, for all the flights. We're going to discuss everything as we go along. Before we go ahead, I would like to inform you all, it's just a little disclaimer that anything we discussed in today's episode is general information only. As we know that rules and regulations can change anytime and it may vary person to person as well. So please keep yourself updated. It's very, very important.
And as we know that the rules keep changing, and as we have seen in the last few weeks as well, first there have been lots of talks about easing of restrictions. Today we got the news brief of the number of people who can go to religious places has now increased, but then all of a sudden we get some news about some areas being closed, which we'll probably discuss as we go along in the thing. So once again, thank you so much for the last 35 episodes. First to Tanvi for presenting those ones, and for everyone for joining in and listening and tuning in to us. Well, right now, moving on with the show straight on, let's say the first and the foremost, the big question is who can fly from Australia to India at this point in time?
So from Australia to India, guys, all the Indian citizens on temporary visas, tourist visas, they all can fly. There is no problem with that. And also for Australian citizens and PR, there are some categories which we have been telling from last 2 weeks. Still, they are the same. So if there is someone is sick in your family, especially parents, if there is any unfortunate death in family, or if you need to bring your minor from India, these are the main 3 categories you can still apply for exemption. And the documents are quite simple. You have to just upload the relationship proof, the reason, and also it's good if you can write the flight number and which state you're planning to fly. I can send you a checklist if you need to, but these are the people who can fly at this stage, Messi.
And that is again a great news that people can fly as per those rules and regulations which you're going to be discussing. So right now, moving on, let's take first up Brisbane. So what are the flight options from Brisbane?
So from Brisbane, guys, we got Emirates and Qatar. Both are doing absolutely fine at this stage. So pretty much we have 2 flights a week. So Fridays and Sundays we have Emirates. Mostly Fridays are more reliable ones, I would say. And we have Qatar Airways as well. So 25th, 30th June, 3rd July, 7th July, we have Qatar Airways. And we have Emirates 2 times a week. As I said, I just want to tell you guys the difference between both. So it would be a little bit easy for you to decide which one to go for. So if you go in Emirates, as we discussed a lot of times before, you're going to get a free lounge. Still, they are giving you that option if you are Indian citizen, and if you're Australian citizen, you can apply for hotel. If you want, you have a paid hotel option exactly at the terminal as well, where we have an option with the hotel that you can check in. You can actually early check in as soon as you arrive to the airport. So for example, if you're reaching at 5 a.m. in the morning to the Dubai airport, you don't have to wait for 2 p.m. to check in. You can check in straight away. So that's in Emirates. But if you go in Doha by Qatar Airways, then in Doha, in economy, you're not getting any lounge at all. In business, they are giving you 6 hours free lounge. And after that, you have to upgrade it yourself over there. So mostly they're not giving option to extend it beforehand, and it's subject to availability. So this is the main difference. Price-wise, pretty much the same. You might see like $50 cheaper, you can get Qatar compared to Emirates. So once again, if you're getting a return flight, going from Australia to India and here to Australia, it's better you buy Qatar Airways. And if you're thinking to go one way, then Emirates would be a lot easier for you because you can get lounge and hotel facilities. So just to let you know that as well,
And that is some very sound advice there as well, because there are 2 different routes there, but with slightly different, provisions in there as well. Well, right now, so we've got that Brisbane covered. Well, moving on, what are the options from Sydney at this point in time?
So from Sydney also we have Emirates and Qatar, both are flying 2 flights a week. So for Emirates we got 26th of June, 29th of June, 3rd July, 6th of July, and Qatar we got 26th of June. The same day we have both the flights, 28th of June, 30th and 3rd of July. So 2 weeks of flights a week of Emirates and Qatar both at this stage.
Okay, so the 2 flights there, that's well done. Well, right now, moving on, as we now, the 2 areas which there are some concerns, one was Sydney, which is slightly emerging situation there, but Melbourne with all its the situation there as well. But we talked about that in the last few episodes, that despite all that, flights are still going. So what is the situation there? What are the flight options from Melbourne?
So from Melbourne also, we have 2 flights a week, luckily, for Emirates and Qatar both. So 25th of June, 30th of June, 3rd of July, 7th of July, we got from Melbourne, and the Qatar Emirates flight, and the Qatar flights as well there, 26th of June, 28th of June, 30th of July, and 2nd of July. So pretty, so many flights are there, and there is no problem whatsoever from Melbourne as well.
So that's good news that there's no major problem there. But if you follow all those rules and regulations, that you will be able to fly out of Melbourne. Well, moving on, let's take a look at Adelaide, and if you could provide us an update of what is the flight status out of Adelaide.
So from Adelaide, guys, there is no one-stop flight I could see. Mostly there are 2 stop flights, and pretty much you have just 1 flight which can take you directly. For example, if we connect you via Melbourne or Sydney, which we generally do. So there is only 1 flight you can connect in morning, which means you have at least 5 hours to 7-8 hours hold in Melbourne or Sydney, which you have to plan. If you know someone, you might go a day before as well, but definitely it depends on the situation of the state you are going to. So definitely not recommend at this stage in Sydney or Melbourne that you go day before, but the same day is definitely okay. But it's good that you plan a little bit before, because there are 2 stops journeys. But yes, there are plenty of flights. Every couple of days we can connect you from Adelaide to India. There is no problem.
So that's another good news that the connections are there. Well, right now on the other side of the country, Western Australia, going to Perth. So what are the options from there?
So from Perth also we have plenty of flight, at least 1 flight a week for Emirates and Qatar. It's still with the same kind of calls we have from Melbourne and Sydney. So Emirates flight at 27th of June, 1st of July, 4th of July and 7th of July. And Qatar flights are also going from there. So 25th of June, 27th and 30th of June at this stage.
Okay, so with those options there as well, now we come to the burning question which we have every week, which is a very relevant one. And when people look at all the flights and things that are happening, and there's some government discussions happening as well. So updates for flights from India to Australia.
So before we go ahead, guys, I would like to say it's a happy news for all the students. I know you all have been waiting maybe to hear this, and you must be already following all the news over there. But yes, students, this is a chance for you, and you are definitely coming back very soon by the looks of it. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, so ACCC, has given interim authorization to New South Wales and ACT universities to collaborate and on travel arrangement for the return of all the international students. And you might have already seen that they are New South Wales government recently announced a pilot plan to enable a maximum 250 international students to come to Sydney every fortnight. So that we informed to you guys last week as well, but that's really amazing news. So I think just stay tuned and keep checking with your universities and keep checking your emails and your phones as well, that if you're gonna get any notification about that. And also, as mentioned before, if you are stuck in India, please don't forget to register yourself with Indian High Commission Canberra. Just jump on their website, hcicanberra.gov.in and /student standard register, and make sure you register yourself there. And Indian, High Commission can also help you to get here faster. So this is basically for students, and other than that, those who are stuck in India, there are flights. So basically, Qatar Airways and Japan Airlines is flying as usual. Japan Airlines flying every Wednesday, Delhi to Sydney. They mainly have business class seats available, and the Qatar is flying every couple of days from all major cities. It's still from India to Australia, and mainly the one coming on system and immediately bookable are from September onwards. However, there are flights before that as well, which can be booked, and we can definitely help you with that. About the Emirates, guys, I'm going to tell you a bit later about Emirates as well, a bit more details. But just for your information, Emirates has opened already now for for residents to go back from 23rd of June onwards, and hopefully we are still waiting for airlines to give us more clarifications how the transit going to be for the passengers coming from Australia, India to Australia as well, and whether we can book flights both ways or not, like we are doing for Qatar right now. But hopefully, we might see the return flights or at least one-way option from India to Australia with Emirates from 7th July onwards. So maybe next couple of weeks or next week, we'll have more information for you whether you can fly in Emirates from India to Australia. I have another news for you guys that charters going to start as well. So we have recently seen one of the company has put up the expression of interest. Seems Indonesia going to open on 1st of July so far, as per the information, and we might see charters coming too. I want to just tell you guys the difference once again, since the charters are opening. So mostly in charters, if you're booking, most of the flights are non-refundable and non-changeable. So in case you get COVID last minute, then they won't give you, most of cases, they won't give you option to change. But in air bubble flights like Qatar, Japan Lines, and mostly Emirates, they will give you, date change option. So when you opt for any of the flights, please make sure you are aware that what are the terms and conditions and what is best for your condition. And as usual, I can help you with that as well. So if you have not seen any of your flights previously, please send us an expression of interest. We are sending out to airlines as well to know that where the people stuck and, where they would need flights. We are doing the registration as well for India to Australia, because for most of the flights, they are coming and going fraction of seconds. So if we have your information beforehand that which destination you are coming, how flexible you are, which date you want to fly, then we can send it off to airlines and make sure you get the seat fast as possible. So there are quite a few seats, quite a few options, guys, from India to Australia. Flights are coming up. They are a little bit slow, but yes, seems like gradually it's getting better. And hopefully, if Emirates opens in next couple of weeks, there'll be a lot more options for you to come back. I also want to go through with you once again the documents. So once again, you need a passport if you're coming from India to Australia as usual. Visa, RT-PCR is 48 hours before departure. If you're coming with Qatar, it's Qatar Airways consent form. Australian travel declaration is mandatory. Doesn't matter which flight you're taking from India to Australia. And also the state registration form. Previously, it was just a G2G pass for Western Australia, but now for Queensland, you might fill it online as well. Till last week, it used to be only on arrival, but seems you can do it online as well. So this is the main update from India to Australia.
So that is wonderful that the flights are getting more and more frequent, and as there has been a lot of talks within the community as well, lobbying the government to bring people stuck there back to Australia, and it's good to see that it's starting to happen slowly, but people still need to follow those rules and regulations, and that is very important. So that's where you come in, trying to help everyone do what they need to do, reminding them, and sometimes reminding them again, then finally doing it for them. But anyway, that's just the way things go. Well, okay, so having covered all that, now let's get into some exciting news. So what's happening, anything exciting nationally?
Nationally, guys, I have seen quite a few airlines and organizations, they all are increasing vaccinations. Which is really great news. So I have seen Regional Australia also came up with really something great. So Regional Australia has also announced the upcoming competition, so offering millions of velocity frequent flyer points plus business class flights to vaccinated Australians, anticipated to open this year once all the adults are eligible for vaccination. Regional Australia Act and Bill Comer is going to come very soon, alongside the separate incentive increasing VS staff to get the jab as well. So don't worry, step back. But at the same time, make sure you got your vaccination done whenever your chance comes, because you might see there are so many exciting things coming up, which airlines going to offer you, and maybe you can get a business class upgrade, and maybe maybe international flights, won't let you go if you are not vaccinated. So please make sure you have done your vaccination done. That's very, very important. Next up is also from Virgin Australia. So Virgin Australia reinstate Melbourne. So Virgin Australia has announced plans to increase the frequency of key routes linking Melbourne and popular destination Australia. So right now we don't have that much like it should be. But they're announcing that they're going to do it very soon. As the city emerges from a period of sustained lockdown, as we already know, additional flight will be added from Melbourne to Cairns, Melbourne to Sunshine Coast, as well as Melbourne to Gold Coast in the time of a busy school holiday period. So very soon we might have really a lot of flights coming to Queensland. Just stay tuned for that. Next up from New South Wales. Quarantine-free travel from New South Wales to New Zealand has been paused at this stage just a couple of days back, for at least 72 hours at this stage. As you probably know, that COVID-19 cluster spiked all of a sudden over there. So suspension will apply to all the New South Wales except for the travellers who have been in Norfolk Island, just in case. Meanwhile, Victoria has also blocked 7 areas of Sydney from entering the state with non-Victorian residents banned if they have stayed or traveled through the newly designated red zones. So please, if you are flying to any of those destinations or you have planned your journey, please make sure that you know exactly what you need to do. You have to change your plan or you have to change your itinerary. Just keep that in mind. Next up from Queensland. So we have a lot of actually news for Queensland today, happily, which I'm going to share with you. From last Saturday, 19th of June, as I mentioned previously as well, so Queensland from other state or territory will need to make an online travel declaration at least 3 days prior to departure. The state also implementing the same requirement for those coming in or from New Zealand, stating a need to enhance COVID-19 contact tracing abilities as a primary motivation. You can go on Queensland website, which is queensland.gov.au/Queensland Travel Declaration. So please make sure you do that. That's very, very important. The Queensland government 2021 and 2022 budget has also allocated a further $9.9 million for the 94-kilometer Wangiti Trail, a walking and mountain bike path through tropical rainforest areas from Pearl Cove to Port Douglas. So if you're planning to fly up north in future, you'll probably have a lot more facilities and not more upgradation you can see. The trial will now also feature eco-accommodation facilities and to be completed by mid-2022. So that's not really too far and definitely really exciting things coming ahead. Next up, again from the Queensland government. So the discount flight scheme has been extended for another year, which I think being really doing extremely well from last few months. As you can see as well, the flights are really a lot cheaper like it used to be. So offering more affordable travel for up far north residents. The local fare scheme provides a discount of up to $400 on a return fare to eligible residents of Cape York, the Gulf of Captain and Torres Strait. So there are so many exciting offers coming up. Our government is helping as well, which is really great news. Thanks to them for that. But yes, that's really exciting news too. And Qantas, next up from Qantas. So last week, Qantas announced an expansion of its agreement with Alliance, which will now see options for total around 18 Embraer E190 regional jets operating under the Qantas Link banner. The 5 planes are already in operation and with 3 more entering service in October, which is not too far away. With Qantas saying the aircraft 5-hour range makes it really well suited to linking regional areas with the small capital cities. So the introduction of E190s also frees QF737s to be deployed across the domestic network, and they're also going to connect and confirming more Canberra-Adelaide flights. So and definitely we will have really lot more offerings from Qantas very soon, and it's really great news that we're going to have extra jets for that. Guys, I have really something really nice from Tasmania as well, which I want to share with you. We really don't get much updates for Tasmania, but I always, believe me, I always keep looking for you that I can give you, updates from for all around Australia. So, Tracy Play Tunes, that's a tagline of that. So Travel Right is inviting travelers to join Australian country music performer John Hoy on a special tour of Tasmania next year. So we will lead a musical adventure around the state ahead of the Port Fairy Folk Festival in February. In case you're not sure about that, please Google it. It's really quite amazing festival in February. So travelers will see some of the Tasmania vast wilderness and the coastal scenery during the day, and as well as the state's main cultures, culinary attractions, and so many other things. They have some tour as well planned for 10 days around 28th of February as well, and the fare is around $3,800 per person. So if you want to look for that, please do that. It's really going to be very amazing. So these are the main updates, in Australia at this stage.
Wow, that is amazing, especially this last bit, Tassie, with John Howie. Wow, that is quite interesting as well. Yes, you do find some very, very interesting things that are happening locally. So there you go. There's no reason that, to be staying put. There's so much that's happening, which you can do so safely and all within the legal framework as well. So you're not, cutting corners or doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. So, these are the things, legitimate things that you could be doing. So there's quite a few options there as well. Well, thank you so much for that update. Well, right, moving on, let's take a look at what we can do internationally. So, updates for the international scene.
Okay, so I'll start with Emirates, guys. As many of you have already sent us messages, I think the whole week was bombarded with the questions, and the Emirates was the top on that. So Emirates resumed flying from India, Nigeria, and South Africa again from the 23rd of June. So UAE lifted its coronavirus ban on these countries, and passengers from all these countries will fly to Dubai so long as it satisfies the multitude of restrictions. So definitely you have to see what the rules and regulations they have. With all three includes a testing. For Indian arrivals, they should have a valid visa and quarantine, and South Africa pack should have a vaccination as well. That's very, very important. We are still waiting for the clear picture, once again, whether we can get the people from India to Australia or not, and how the transit going to be. But it's already, we can see the residents of UAE is going back. Without any issues, but yes, hopefully we are very optimistic that there'll be a lot more flights coming, especially to Australia in future. Next is from Qantas. Sorry, I have missed one of the points previously, but that's basically for worldwide. So Qantas is seeking to renew international routes to a range of destinations, including Vietnam, France, Indonesia, South Korea, Thailand, etc. Approved by the International Air Services Commission. Australia flagship carrier will retain around 250 seats between Australia and France, as per the plan right now, and 100 seats per week, maybe between Australia and Indonesia, and around 500 seats they are planning to the Korean route. So we might hear really, this good news very soon as everything settles, that Qantas is all, preparing themselves to go to all these countries. Next is from Finnair. So Finnair has introduced a new business class light ticket option that was really quite exciting, and that's what I always say, necessity is a mother of invention. So if this COVID didn't come, then what kind of new innovations we are, experiences in last few months than would have been probably happened. So that's quite good as well for those who really want to fly in business class and feel like it's too expensive. So this option you might really try in Finnair. So they are basically they have put few things in there as well. So customer and I can choose a light ticket option for short haul and intercontinental services, providing travelers with business class comfort without all the trimming such as lounge, access in flight, Wi-Fi, different facilities, reservation changes, check-in baggage services. The carrier said the new ticket category caters for leisure travelers who want to travel in business comfort on a budget. So business comfort on a budget, which is the main tagline. Free trade benefit is the new, the next up. So a new principle free trade agreement between Australia and UK will allow Australians to stay in UK for 3 years. until they are 35. So that's something new which I came across and I thought I'll share with you. And unlike for Britons in Australia, so new deals raises the age by 5 years basically, and also removes the rules for British visitors on 12 months working visas to work 88 days on farms to stay another year. So both countries will need to rectify the agreement, which will likely to be effect by mid 2022. So yeah, there are a lot of exciting news coming, I think, for in next 1 year, which we have to look, but that looks really exciting too. And next is from Qatar Airways. So Qatar Airways has announced the addition of new planes and new areas in Zambia and Zimbabwe to its global network, a new network to Lusaka and onwards to Harare, launching from 6 August onwards using B787 aircraft. And next is from Canada. So Canada is easing as well, as we have discussed before as well. So the Canada government has announced 2 days back the first phase of its approach to easing border measures, saying the cautious measures are now possible because of the success of the vaccine rollout in Canada. So from 1st of July, fully vaccinated travelers who have been received, the main vaccinations, especially Pfizer, AstraZeneca, etc., won't be subject to quarantine or testing, but must wear the mask all the time and track the close contact for 14 days after entry. The non-vaccinated travelers must still go for quarantine. So there is another motivation for you guys to really go for vaccine, if you have not done already, because as I said, all the government mostly and all airlines are really preferring those who have vaccinated already. Next is from Italy. So Italy cuts quarantine. So American travelers now can enter Italy without quarantine, with the country adopting rules that out in the European Union new green certificate system. So US arrivals must prove of vaccination, a certificate of COVID-19 recovery or negative test report within 48 hours of the arrival, as well as complete the EU digital passenger locator form. So these are the main requirements, and it may vary country to country. So once again, make sure whichever country you plan, whenever, of course, they open up, those, Aussies and Aussie Americans who are already there and want to visit to Italy, they are option for you as well. You definitely have to see, what are the options and make sure you are carrying all the documents. But that's really good news that you can see every country, governments, airlines, they all are doing something or else to make sure that we all are safe and we travel, and they are preparing for future as well. So these are the main updates internationally at this stage of Steve.
Okay, so once again, that cruise line sounds very good. Plus, the Italy cutting that quarantine is quite a good news as well, because at one stage, it was quite restrictive at that place. Well, it is wonderful to see all these things happening again, especially on the international scene. Local scenes we can understand, but especially on the international scenes, there's so much options still available to people. But right now, moving on, let's take a look at what are the pointers and tips for people traveling at this point in time.
Guys, the first is, as I always say, please always make sure the states and international rules and regulations before you leave. Make sure you have a checklist with you that what documents you have to carry, or if there is a recent update, like when the Queensland government got recent registration, which was not happening before, was just on arrival. So you have to always make sure that you have a checklist and you are updated what are the rules and regulations. I really recommend and highly request you all to please follow all the Facebook groups dedicated for that particular place. So those who are stuck in Australia planning to go to India, you can join the Indian Stuck in Australia Facebook page. If you are coming from India to Australia, there are a couple of groups, which is Australian Stuck in India, and many others as well. So please make sure you join them and follow them for all the up-to-date information. Please don't get confused when you fly from Australia to India. It's 72 hours before departure, you have to do a COVID test. While you're coming from India, 48 hours before departure. I still get, many people get confused, and to your surprise, few days back, someone was stopped in Delhi airport as well, just because he thought it was 72 hours. So please don't think yourself anything, just get the facts and do that way. Guys, I have seen recently there is a lot of error in Australian declaration form people have been facing. I mentioned that last week as well, and this week it's the same thing. So if you are using phone or tablet to fill that form, please don't do that. Do it on your laptop, and also try and do on Google Chrome or any other Explorer where you can. If it's showing error, you have to restart the laptop, like all new technical things. But you just can't tell the officers that it didn't work and you could not fill it, because the authorities at the airport won't let you go unless you complete your Australian travel declaration form. That is mandatory. Just remember that, and don't leave it to very last minute. At least try to fill it 2 days before your departure, or at least 1 day before, not to the last minute. So, you're not sitting at the airport and, stressing that whether they let you go or not. So, because it may take a bit of time. Last but not least, please send us your expression of interest if you're planning to fly in future. Or send us your details so we can update you specifically for your circumstances. If you like this episode, please share with your all the family and friends. We have got 35 more episodes on Australian Indian radio, Gentex Media, Brisbane Indian Times, social media platforms, also on All India Travel, Facebook and YouTube page. If you have any question, don't forget to send it to us. We are happy to include it here, and throughout the week also, I can always answer you. You can contact me or my team on any of the reflected numbers on your screen. You can call me on 04044033264. You can jump on our website, which is www.ausindiatravel.com.au. Also, the Facebook page you can like for all the recent updates. Please like it, share with your friends, and let us know how it was. Your feedback is really very, very important for us. It's been 36 weeks. We are with you, and it's a really exciting journey. But without your feedback, without your support, it would not have been possible. Thank you once again, Coastal Indian Radio, to Maishi for giving us this platform that we can share, our experiences and knowledge with you all. It's really something I have no word for. And it's really learning experience for me every single day and every single episode too. So thank you very much once again. And I have a lot more other checklists as well for those, the parents are flying or infants flying, the new mothers flying with infants. So very exciting checklist I have, which I can always share with you to make your journey easier and better. So I hope you all stay healthy and safe. And thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much once again, Tanvi, for all your efforts and for what you do. And of course, this is not something which is just like that. You do your research and then you present all this also, and also helping people if they're stuck and they don't know what to do with the forms. That idea of a checklist, if anyone knows me, that I'm a very strong believer of checklist and making sure that things are there, ticked off and done. So, it's wonderful once again, and thank you very much for all your efforts of everything that you have been doing so far.
Thank you, guys. And I got my baby as well here. She just want to say hi to you. That's really life of a mother. But yes, I'm super proud of it. And all mothers out there working, I would say just keep doing it. These kids, they really encourage you every day to really do it even better every single day. So thank you so much, guys. And stay safe and let us know if we can help you. One more thing I want to tell you, doesn't matter what you have booked with us or not, I'm there to help you. My team is there to help you, you will be here very soon. I'm sure about that, and gradually things are really getting better. So thank you very much once again. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you. And hi, Babasi is very cute. Thank you very much. Very good.
Thank you so much. Bye.